As the Dust, John Fante. Introduction by Charles Bukowski. And, when I first heard about John Fante from Bukowski, I had to. I had to read this. And of course, I saw the movie way back, and it was pretty good. And this book, it's pretty up there. It's a good little, what you might call it, music in motion. John Fante has a certain rhythm that just sucks you in, and it's just a breath of fresh air if you want. Now, of course, this was written at a certain time, and Bukowski says, this introduction I think is in '79, and he says, the book still stands, it still holds up, and in a way, even today in the 21st century, it still holds up. It's funny, it's melodramatic, but not in a cheesy way. It's a melody almost. And I have to say, even though it has what you might call style, it's a rhythm almost. By the end, somewhere at the end, something happens, and because this event or series of events happen, uh, Ask the Dust loses this tempo that it starts out with, because that's where plot comes in and just takes the spark out of the writing, where he Bandini searches for Camilla and he never finds her, and it's just wow, really, you're gonna end it like that? And because that happens, the book kind of loses that special that special something that it has. I have to say, at least the first half of this is just it's just music. It's just really sad and funny music. When you read poor Bandini, Arturo Bandini, you know, uh, and I have to throw a little shade here at my boy Charles Bukowski, because he says that John Fante was his inspiration. He went to the library. He has an introduction here, and he says he went to the library and he read everything, and there nothing really could could hold his interest. None of the greats, if you would, maybe some of the Russians, and he finally found John Fante, and immediately he knew that this guy was on another level almost, and it's true because he speaks from the heart and he puts his soul into it. It's pure emotion here. And Charles Bukowski. I'm just gonna throw a little shade here. My boy Charles Bukowski. His poetry is, most of it is, it's just wow. It's powerful stuff. But I've read some of his novels, and it's just there are good parts here and there, but his novels are just not his best work. I read a couple of them. Post Office, Women, and a couple of others, and they're not necessarily horrible, but his poetry is where it's at. Okay, now back to John Fante. Uh, Man, the poor guy. He had a life like yikes, yikes. Uh, you know, wasn't really successful. He was almost forgotten, and then you know, uh, how would you say it? In the last chapters of his life, John Fante was rediscovered, maybe with the help of Bukowski, and but it was a bit too late for him, because He had what do you call it, a severe case of diabetes. He was going blind. He was being chopped up from the legs up, you know, every time. And the poor guy, he never got a break, but he created a masterpiece right here. And you should read it because this book, it has its faults because, like I said, somewhere in the last couple of pages, that special rhythm is lost because plot comes to the forefront, and you know, but still, it's a pretty great read. It's sad, it's depressing, it's hilarious in other parts. And this guy Arturo Bandini, he's a walking contradiction. You know, there are scenes with him and Camilla, and he just wants to tell her, you know, and he just fucks it up almost. It's like he can't tolerate the idea of just letting her in and exposing his what do you call it, his inner soft side almost, and he becomes a brute and even violent at times. But still, this is a book that you will read and reread again because John Fante has something special to offer you. And, you know, when something bad happens in your life and you just don't know why, there's only one thing you can do, and that is to ask the dust. And maybe you'll get an answer, maybe you won't. But still, this is a great book. Enjoy.